Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Extraordinary Drummer Show. As you know, I'm your host, Sharon Moore. You know, I always say today, today, today. Well, today, y'all. Ouch, ouch. You see who I got on the show. You don't need no introduction. We can just go right into. So, how was breakfast? We could just go right into it. But as you all know, I hope you don't mind me saying, he's a legend. We all come from him one way or another. I don't care what generation you're in. You came from this man right here, and we still trying to cop. I gave up on some of those songs. I said I give up. I can't even name names right now, but I gave up on a many of those songs. I said, as long as the band don't bust me on them, I'm gonna just skate. I'll just play the head. Would you help me welcome a legend? And we're gonna talk about maybe it's an end of a era from a legend, and a new page is about to be turned here. Will you help me welcome my dear friend, as I said, the legend, the great, the awesome, the man, Mr. David Garibaldi. Hey, David.
Oh man, great to be with you, Teron. Thank you, man. Good to
Oh,
have you.
this
Good to be here with you.
it's my delight, man. As I said, you look great, man. You found the fountain of youth out there, didn't you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm off the bus. That's the good thing. That you can smile about that.
David,
So
back at January 12th, 2004, of course, you announced that my time with TOP has reached its end. And the follow-up question uh, would be to that was around July, the European tour, doing the European tour, what was that conversation like between you and your body that you knew this was the time?
Well, that particular trip was pretty strenuous. I mean, we were there in the month of July, stayed the whole month. We started in the UK at the Love Supreme Festival, and then just started hitting it. And so by the end of that month, uh, my body I started to run out of gas, and that had never happened before. I'm a high energy person. I've never had any kind of issues like that, but this was the first time, and I realized that I could see that something was coming. And by the time that we finished the year, I think it was December 17th was our last gig in Southern California. That was it. I knew I was done. You know, so there was no question about that. So here we are.
What did that feel like? I mean, was it pain other than just being exhausted?
Well, my body is saying enough, but my mind is saying, well, maybe just a little rest and you'll feel good and you'll be ready to go again, that kind of stuff. But then, when I'm home every day, I'm thinking and I know that it's done. I just know it. And so, I had written Emilio, the band leader, I wrote him an email explaining kind of how I felt, and he knew that anyway because, we're around each other all the time. And so, the challenges of trying to come back from that accident that I had, and those things, it just became a really big mountain to climb every day. And so, he thought about it for a little while, and then the band met, and I knew they were going to do that because that's kind of how we do things in that band. We have these meetings, and so he told me that the consensus was to move on. And I was totally in agreement with that because there was no way I could go continue this year, you know. So there it is, it was just my body said enough, and that was my reality. So I just listened to my body, and here we are.
Wow. I read somewhere where you would have bags or your bag hadn't been unpacked in
Oh
six
yeah.
months or something like that. What was that?
Wasn't 6 months, it was like 25 years. When I came back on the band in 1998, we started working, and Tower Power is, you hit the ground running. A lot of work, rehearsals, gigs, recording, one thing after another, clinics. We did, all kinds of stuff. And so I just realized that, I last weekend I unpacked one of my bags, And I realized I hadn't unpacked my bags in 25 years. That was a first. I'm going, whoa. So anyway, that's that's what it was. So the unpacking ceremony, and it was kind of fun to do it. Put my bag away. I didn't have to think about getting on the tour bus again, and there you go.
Yeah. I would just be curious, what did Doc say to you?
Would Doc say?
Yeah.
Um, I haven't heard from him yet. I've heard
Oh,
from some of the other guys. I haven't heard from Doc yet, but I'm sure I'll hear from him today or so, today or tomorrow. We're still kind of processing all of this, and, it's kind of tough for everybody because, it's guys you go to battle with, and then one of you has to leave. And, those are like family members. They're my brothers, closer than my family. We've been together for so long. And so, this everybody's still processing it.
you started with Tower of Power in 1970?
July 23rd, 1970, I was 23 years old.
How do you remember that date? How do you remember that date? Wow.
Well, it was just a significant thing in my life. We were in Australia a couple of years ago, and we were doing this Dave Cause cruise. We were in Melbourne, where the boat was docked, and we got on in the afternoon and had this kind of meeting with all the people that were on the cruise, and they were asking us questions. And so the lady I can't remember her name, she's a radio DJ, and she went around, she says, tell everybody, when did you start with Tower Power? And so everybody goes around, and it turns out that everyone in the band had a date, the starting date with the band, that was really significant to them. And that was the first time we were listening to each other say that, and everybody's going, whoa, you have one of those too. So it was kind of interesting. Everybody had a date that they started, and it meant something to them. It was pretty cool.
David, are you aware that you changed the game? Are you aware of that, man?
Well, I changed my game, that's for sure. I mean, that's all really that you can think about. I mean, the story is still being written. I'm not by any means done yet. I just kind of stepped away from, the Million Gig March for a minute, but things are still going. So I mean, I don't think about it like that. I'm just happy to be contributing to our art. You know.
Yeah. Looking back, what do you think of your run, man? Like, what do you think of that run? What's that, 40 something years, 50 years or so?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute. I haven't really reflected too much yet. Because it's still fresh. Um, but there's been a lot of really, really great stuff, man. A lot of really great moments. Um, I don't know, man. Tons of cool stuff. You know.
Yeah. I read somewhere where you said, or a paraphrasing, it's time to step down when you have favorite restaurants in other countries or something like that.
That's true. Yeah, we were always like, you know, found all the good places to eat and all that stuff. It was always really a lot of fun doing that.
What's the family think of you stepping down?
They're cool with it. The thing with my wife and I, we met in Europe. My wife's from Italy, and that's where we met. And so our relationship has always been like, I'm coming and going. So, she would just always say, when I left, she'd say, I'll see you when you get back. When I got home, let's eat. It's good to have
Wow.
you here. I love you, that kind of stuff. So, that's kind of the way that it's been. But home life here is really great, man. It's a cool place, a lot of good energy. My son's going to college, still here for a couple of more years. My wife is, wonderful person, man. She keeps a beautiful home, peaceful, that kind of stuff. And so my practice studio is here, my big screen TV. you know, all that stuff, you know, all the good things, you know.
David, any idea what the future looks like? Any ideas, any thoughts, any plans,
Oh, I got a
anything
lot
going?
of plans. I got lots of plans, of course. You know, I mean, I'm not, you know, I know what I'd like to do, what I'm going to set out to do. Um, I got a book project, you know, that I'm going to start. Already started it. Another one. It's going to be pretty cool, you know. Um, I've already talked to some friends about, you know, got calls from guys around here. Let's go to work. Let's do stuff. Guys that I've worked with for a long, long time here in the Bay Area. And there's a great recording project that we all had started a while back. That's kind of, you know, we call it the pyramid. You know, we're building the pyramids. It's taken forever to get it done, but man, it still sounds really, really great. So now we're in the process of, you know, going to complete that. Um, I'm going to upgrade my home studio to do recording in there. That's what I'll do, you know. Uh, I have to say that, you know, uh, I'm really glad to be off the tour bus, man. It was, as much as I loved it, loved those guys and all that, it becoming really, as I said, a huge mountain to climb. And I'm glad that I don't have to do that, you know.
Here's one for you. I hope it makes you laugh a little bit. I'm going to read it just the way I got it here. I got LOL first. It says, "You think you will go back and pick up the violin or the piano again?"
Not the violin, that's for damn sure. Not the violin. No, you know. I don't know, man. You know, maybe piano or something. You know, keyboards was always fun to play. You know, I loved doing that. That was really great. You know, violin, I have to say, you know, I respect everybody that plays that instrument. It's very difficult to play, but you know, in my to my ears, it was never something that I wanted to pursue. You know.
Yeah, I read that somewhere that you actually started out, if I may say it that way, started out playing violin and piano and that maybe
Oh
what,
hell yeah,
age?
because I wanted to play the trumpet. I wanted to play the trumpet, and the band director, you know, says, "Well, we don't have any trumpets available. Here's a violin." You go, hello, you know. So I started that and didn't like it, you know, at all, and then stopped for a minute, but then started up again with drums, and that stayed, you know.
David, let me say thank you so much for being on an extraordinary drummer show. But I do want to ask, as I put you on a single screen here, if you leave a parting closing word with all the fans, extraordinary drummers, and with all the fans, and just know that I still think end of an era. But would you leave a few parting words with the audience, please?
I will say, man, you know, it's been really a cool honor to be on your show, you know, and you know all the things that I've seen that you've been doing. It's really really cool stuff, you know. Keep doing that for sure. But you know, if I guess if I have to say one thing to you know to your audience is that to just be yourself, you know. That's at best that's what it's going to be. And so that's what I've done. That's what, you know, I endeavor to do is just be myself. I don't worry about what other people are doing. I don't follow trends. I follow my trend. And, you know, if you do that, you know, you're always going to be satisfied. You're always going to be playing at a top level all the time. And you'll be on the cutting edge because, you know, you're creating. And that's what this is. You know, it's art, no more, no less. It's not competition. It's creating. So you just create a life for yourself, create a sound for yourself. You know, it's fun.
David, thank you, brother. Thank you so
My
very much for
pleasure,
the
man.
really, and I hope you come back to the show again and again,
Anytime you ask, there I am.
as we always do. Will you help me? Not goodbye, but help me wave goodbye to the audience, please. Yes, sir. Thank you, David.
All right,
Talk
brother.
soon, my friend. Bye bye.
All right, man. Thanks.